right? Right? So let's all stand as I look at make preparations to get your Terria. As we begin tonight, we begin with mantras and opening arti. For everybody else, please draw your hands. Ladies, please cover your hair with your orni out of respect. As we are about to do worship for the Bhagavad. As we just finished celebrating Janamashmi, tonight we continue in the narrative of Lord Krishna. Careful, and you come up here with me. You start here, after the book, then Baba and them, and then by Bedi you have the dutas. Okay. As you're coming in, everybody come in. Sitaram, welcome. Have a seat, make yourself comfortable. We are about to start. Sajam Javarti Sanyuktam Grahina Yojitam Mayam Deepam Grehana Devesham Trailokya Timirapaham Jai Jai Bhagavat Bhagavan Ki Hai Aarti Papiyon ko paap se hai taarti Jai Bhagavat Bhagavan ki hai aarti Papiyon ko paap se hai taarti Ye amar granth ye mukti panth ye pancham vera nava jyoti jagane Hari Gyan yahi Vardhan yahi Hari Gyan yahi Vardhan yahi Jagati Mangal ki aarti Papiyon ko paap se hai taarti Bhagavat Bhagavan Come on everybody, let's sing together. Ye Shanti Geeta Bhavan Punita Shako Kumitane Vata Hari Darshadikane Vata Shanti Geeta Bhavan Hey Sukh Karni hai Dukh Harni Hey Sukh Karni hai Dukh Harni Ye Madhusudan ki aarti Papiyon ko paap Everybody take it up. Jai Bhagavat Bhagavan ki hai aarti Papiyon ko paap se hai taarti Ye madhur bol jab pand bol sanman adhikari wala bigdi ko banane wala Shri Ram yahi Ghanshyam yahi Sitaram, everybody, if you came in after, please have your seats. Make yourself comfortable. And tonight, as we join together with Terry and family, I would like to invite everybody to please draw your hands now. Let's say some mantras before we do our little chant and so on. As we celebrate birthday and we give thanks to God. Close your eyes. Nothing long, nothing boring, nothing cumbersome. But in everything, we must give God thanks. Too often, we depend on mantras, we depend on the singers, we depend on the musicians to lead. But the truth is, when you get the opportunity to pray, nothing beats what you can do with your own heart and hand. When it comes to what you are going to be held accountable for when one day we all meet with our Maker, is what you did with your time. Tonight, just for a couple of seconds, let us forget all the good and the bad and all the worries and pressures of today. And set your mind on Ganesh Baba first. Together, everybody. Om Gajananam Bhutaganadi Sevitam Kapeta Jambu Palachara Vakshitam Umasutam Sho Kavinashkarakam Namami Viganeshwara Parapankajam. Together, let's pray to Devi. Om Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om Namah Shivaya. Everybody. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Everybody. Om Namah Shivaya. Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Before we go into our discourse this evening, I want to join together with our group on stage and we'll do a couple of chants and then we'll enter into discourse. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai.
Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai 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 Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Krishna Hare, Shama Hare, Krishna Hare, Shama Hare, Radha Govinda Hare, Meera Gopal Hare, Krishna Hare, Shama Hare.
Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Before we enter into this course tonight, it is customary that we do Sumriyan for Bhagavad. So at this time, everybody please sit upright. Put your hands together. And this is as if you are asking permission. Shravanam is that type of devotion where I love to listen to discourses, tales, glories for children to understand about my God, about the Lord that I love, that form that I respect the most. I worship Him. And whenever I get the opportunity, let's pretend we're talking about the Hanuman Chalisa, I just have to stop what I'm doing and listen to it. That is that type of prayer where just by listening I'm getting blessings. Tonight, as we are about to listen to this course, let's get the blessings of God first. Dear Lord, what I'm about to hear, please allow it to burn away the sin. Redhi Siddhi Datta Siddhi Sadhana Varana Varana Sumiro Varamvar Madana Kadana Kelala Ganapati Vipanidan Jnana Kani Ananda Bhavana Devu Mohi Vardhan Varano Bhasha Bhagavat Jai Shiva Anand Bodhanath Bhaya Harana Bhakti Vishaya Nirvan Gaurav-dhan Mangala Karna He Braj Chandra Mukunda Braj Bhushan Dushan Harna Katahu Bhavaya Panda Charana Sharana Le Anakara Jai 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 Jagadisha Devat Shesha Mahesha Ja Mahimamita Veva Veda Veda Janat Rahe Redhi Siddhi Datta Siddhi Sadhana Varana Varana Redhi Siddhi Datta Siddhi Sadhana Varana Varana Sumiro Varamvar Madana Kadana Kelala Sumiro Varamvar Madana Kadana Kelala Madana Kadana Kelala Madana Kadana Kelala Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. So yesterday was Janmashtami. The day before, we celebrated a form of Kali Mata, Mahakali Jayanti. And the reason for that is, when you remember the Krishna Janam discourse, remember there's a switch between the babies. Krishna goes and somebody comes back. So the baby that is coming back is described in Bhagavad and other texts as Yog Maya, which is another name for the goddess known as Kali Mata. And the reason she is coming, I'm just recapping for everybody. When Lord Vishnu is asked by the form of the cow, please, I'm overrun. Think about what we are going through in this world right now. Why, if somebody says, you are the Hindu, my dear brother, I realize you're a Hindu, sister, you're a Hindu, but I notice when you're offering your jal in the morning, or you're lighting your diya, or you're doing your puja as we did today, I see that you're always touching the earth. You know, as a child, I don't know about you, but I remember I used to do all kind of shortcut. For the children here, you know, you sit down with mama and papa doing prayers, and you're bowing in the middle of the air. You ever see children do that? Bow properly. Do it properly. That was the message, right? But if somebody come and say, why? Why is it so important that I'm bare feet when I'm offering Madara? I don't like to stand in dirt. I don't like to touch the mud. Mother Earth in a previous discourse, she says to Lord Krishna, they're talking, nutshell, summary version of. She says, once my children have me, the earth, I'll support them and they will be good. So Krishna says, oh, so your children don't need the father, they only need the mother. They don't need me. She says, well, Prabhu, I'm the one literally holding them. They're walking on my back. I hold their homes. I hold them. That is why I'm saying what I'm saying. So he says, okay, mother, no problem. You hold up your children. And you see, every time your child touch you so, take the negative, take the trouble, the worries, the different hurts, take it from them. So think back now what you do when you're praying. First of all, let's start there. Dear Lord, I have an exam coming, SEA coming, driving test coming, I have a medical exam coming. I don't want to feel afraid. Please take away that fear. Please take away the sickness, the trouble, COVID around. And you touch the earth and you let that negative. Have you ever gone to get jari? For the ladies, with all due respect, you get your stomach rubbed. And when the person finishes, you ever see how they just knock the earth? Or you for yourself, you take the how and smoke like this morning, you pass it over your head, and you came down your body, and you'll see. Tap the earth, Mother Earth, take the negative. You see, Hindu people knew, long before we were taught in school, the science of energy, Shakti. You cannot destroy the Shakti, you cannot destroy energy. It changes in form. But negative energy has to go somewhere. So we put it to the earth. And the positive one, now think about you when the satsang finish. If somebody asks you, well, uncle, why all this be passing on the hands so far? Why just do this for? You see, as Hindus, I believe we need to explain everything for children to understand. Agreed? I'm putting positive energy now here. You know, I have a little elbow pain. Lord Vishnu, please move the pain. But the negative energy that is in my body, whether you call it arthritis, whatever it is, it must go somewhere. It goes to the earth. So in Bhagavad, when you hear Mother Earth took the cow form, and she goes to Lord Vishnu and she says, I'm overburdened with the negative. What is the negative she's talking about? Think about everybody touching the earth and saying, dear God, we have COVID, we have crime, we have pain, suffering. Mother Earth take, and everybody is doing that. And she says, oh my gosh, Lord Vishnu, the weight on my back is so much, I cannot bear it. Please come in the form that will assist me to rid the earth of people like Kans and others. So when Mother Earth, now the cow leaves, Lord Vishnu went to Lakshmi Mata sitting there and he says, Devi, I need the Shakti upon the earth. I need that form to work and to do so that we'll be able to succeed in our plans to destroy his king. So the discourse that gives where Kali Mata comes from, the beginning, not where she appears like in the battlefield for Narata. Again, I'm recapping what we read before live, that is, right? In Lingam Puran, there's a discourse where Lord Shiva comes to Mother Parvati and he says, listen, there's a demon on the earth and he needs to be destroyed only by a female. And I need you to help me. The guy name was Daruka. So Parvati Mata says her prayers and she takes a small form and she jumps into the throat of Lord Shiva. And a form of Lord Shiva, by the name of Mahakal, or the Lingam when he's black, the poison here caused her body to go from very fair to very dark, and she became Mahakali. And she came upon him. Now, as she's born in the house of Nand, and they do the exchange, when all this is done, everybody please clasp your hands. She has frightened, where we enter in Bhagavad tonight, she has frightened Kans. Varnasyam Manapurna Gaya Shatre Ganeshwari Kurukshetra Bhadrakali Vadrakatyayani Para Dwarakayam Mahamaya Mathurayam Maheshwari Shudatvam Sarvabhutanam Velatvam Sagarasyascha. Mother, in various parts they call you by various names, Mahakali, Annapurna, all belong to Adi Shakti. Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. listening to the words of this goddess that your murderer, your destroyer is already born and he's waking up in Gokul. That did something in the heart of the Mamu. Remember, Akans is the Mamu of Krishna. And he starts to feel very afraid. You're talking about the destroyer, the killer. He got away. He got away. I feel so helpless. What is going to happen next? He's looking at all the people around him in the court and he's wondering, how am I going to fix this? And his sister is crying because yet another child is dead. Another child is gone. She's the loser in this whole story. He's worried about one day he'll die, as if he'll live forever. But the sister never got to feed to her chest, to her bosom, not one of her children. And she's crying and pounding the floor. How sinful it is that I will never get to feed my children. Let's enter here, where the brother, he goes to talk to her. He goes to address his sister as he's feeling very, very sorry. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah Aho Bhagavana sister. The word Mamu means the person who is like the mother. The benefit of a Mamu, he's the only male that will love a child like the mother. That is why till today, when the boy or the girl is getting married, the Mamu has a role to play. He said, but I am not worthy of such a title. Instead of holding, embracing, instead of lifting this child, I have come like death. And I have been plotting to kill. And all what I have been plotting still, by the hand of destiny, only my sister is the loser. She's lost all her children. And I still don't have the hand on my murderer. Shashu Mahapugaye Swami Krita Bhodana Janaye Atam Devaki Mahapagaya You know, sometimes when somebody is guilty, they start to mama guy. They start to feel very bad. And this fella is in the same moment. Now he realized, Devaki, in a previous verse, when the sword was about to cut her throat, and he's ready to kill her. Vasudeva says, well, how will you kill this girl? Daughter to you, you are so much older than her. You would feed her sweets and fruits. How could you now come to kill your child? And now he realizes, all of a sudden, this is the same sister slash daughter that he had once played with, that he had once depended upon for love and for support. Now, 6 children, he took the baby by the foot and he swung that child and he let the head smash on the wall. And he did it in full purview so that she would see. The first 6 children, he does that. The 7th one is the alleged miscarriage that Devi again, Adishakti, takes from the womb of Devaki and she puts it into the womb of Rohini, who is then one day going to be called Balaram. And then the 8th one, which was Krishna, he says, even this one, sister, I robbed you. But you know what? For every creature, we are all helpless in this world. It is your karma, dear sister, that has caused this. Don't grieve too much because of the death of your sons. It had to happen. Saintly people like you are never too afflicted and too poor of compassion. Listen to Mama Guy. Now he's applying for compassion. After I hurt you, after I harm you and harm your children, now you are better than me. You are compassionate. So forgive me. Don't hold me in your mind. Don't cry on me. Don't do these things. Please forgive me for all my wickedness. With these words, with tears in his eyes, he went and he hugged his sister and his brother-in-law, his Bonowi. Devaki, believe it or not, has the heart to forgive him. And she was allowed to walk out of the jail cell that day because of his words. And now he wants to repay her. He allows her to go back to her dress and as a queen now. He allows her to go back to her space. But still, Kans is watching very carefully. In case the child should come back to them, he's ready for them. Persons that have this type of malice, people that covet the wealth of other people, people who watch what other people have and dribble, they could never just give up those bad habits just like that. Guruji is speaking in this section. Sukdev Goswami says, if he had changed his ways even at that time, he would have been spared. But the people that are wrong cons, the people that are influencing him, advising him, they tell him, don't worry, O Rajan. You say the murderer, the person to destroy you, is a baby in a different city. We will search far and wide. We will find that person and we will destroy that child. What are you worried about? What are you crying and downtrodden and depressed now? Do you think it is away from you? We can still pull back that enemy. There is no weapon that is greater than you. You are such a great king. We could destroy all of them. Just as the disease can destroy this body. And if a person neglects their body and allows disease and sickness to take root, and it slowly takes the life out of the body, likewise, slowly we're going to find, by searching one house after the other, and we will find that child. If we don't find that child, we are going to destroy all newborn children. We are going to kill one after the other. We are going to remove all of these things. Prabhu, you are our king, you are our leader, and nothing is going to harm you. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. When all this was happening, Lord Shiva is looking on. Mahadev Baba is listening as he is happy. He knows the will, he knows the working of Lord Vishnu. And Lord Shiva sends forms to help. Let's say a little prayer to Lord Shiva. As the morning had come, none got up. He knows he has a baby. He had just met Vasudev earlier in the night, and he went to pray to Lord Shiva. Prabhu Prananatam Vibhum Vishwanatam Jagannatanatam Sadananda Bhajam Bhave Bhavya Bhuteshwaram Bhutanatam Shivam Shankaram Shambhu Mishan Mideha. Chanting verses of the Shiva Ashtakam. He says, I worship you in the form of Shiva, Shankar, Shambhu. Dear God, may you bless my house. He makes all preparation, consults the Patra, the Pandit, and it is now time to do Jat Karam Sanskar. Many times people, as Pandits, maybe we neglect to talk about this part. And I want to mention this first. One day me and Terry were talking about how people receive a baby home. The baby is born maybe in the hospital, and we now have to bring the baby home. And there is so much variation about what people do that it is clear that there is a little confusion. So let me just give you an example. This is the part where, let's say on the roadway there, the car has stopped and the mother and the newborn is about to come out. I've heard, Baba, that some people throw stone. Tell me if you hear this part. Tell me if you know what I'm talking about. Baba, I've heard some people say take mud and make laddu like ball. Laddu now, size. And throw. Some people make flour. What do you do in Satnarayan trees? What it is? Flour, ball, stone. Don't use the stone. You're going to hit somebody. All you hearing me, she saying? You're using the dirt. You didn't see this anyway? Before? You ever see that part? I think we did see the day when we do the wedding. Wedding, and what did it use in the wedding? Flour. Do you know why you're throwing the flour? So it have things in Hanuman Chalisa, Bhuta, Preta, Nikatina, Yahweh, things that feed off people, the energy. So the person, oh God, I went to the wedding. Oh God. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody does go through that at some point. You go to the funeral and you come back sick. And your energy now is very low. And you might go by Pandit Vishnu to get jari. And somehow when Baba says his prayer, you back up. The child is no longer crying. Trouble stop. The malju or whatever bad eye we might say, go on. The first thing, when the child is coming, we don't want what Nand is preparing here and what we do. We do not want these entities to touch the child. Or in the case of the lady, touch her in a way where she might have a cut on her belly. We don't want her in any way to be sickly. So the logic is, and you also see it for funeral. Have you ever gone to funeral and see how they just break the pinda? And it'll be trained so? Please, all the zombie, I'm using that word for children, eh? Zombie, spirit, boot, pisage. Please, you come to eat, you come for something, take this. Take this. Eat. And then you see the mother of the child, the dollar come out like a thief. Quick, come. When the 5 ladies meet the barat and the boy is about to come to the home, they do the thing quick. Our team to Ongchim to get rid of any najar. And come cover your head quick. Don't let me say, come inside. Hide the face with the Maori. Nobody must march you. Likewise, nobody sees the face of the baby. They cover the child, the mother is holding like a guard. Come quick, don't let no zombie or anything touch. Eat the flour if you want to eat. And you take out your baby and you come inside quickly. In some parts they talk about kicking down by the entrance of the door a container with rice. In some places they cross a flame. What did this do? Can you remember that part? Like the doorway, they would probably say canfa or something and the mother cross the canfa or light. Right. Well, when you've now come home, you do that part. So Nand is busy. He's busy that morning. They are preparing for a sanskar, just like wedding, just like funeral, a sanskar. Jat Karam Sanskar is going to be done. Jat Karam Sanskar is the first Sanskar that you do when you have a baby. This is the part, if you've ever seen it, let's say I'm the father and the Baba is up, like we pay system boy here facing this direction. And after doing the puja on the baby, the father holds the child up like this. This is the main difference in this puja. So the head and the tailbone here. And as the Baba is chanting prayers, this prayer is really introducing this child to everybody. So the first part you would say, wherever the moon is, this is so and so. The son, this is my child, his name is so and so. In this prayer you would see the father whisper in the left ears, I wish you to become a doctor one day. In the right ears, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, or prayers to say it is now inside of you. In this prayer, you'll get a little piece of gold stick and they'll make like a head, the jeweler. So it's safe now, it's not rough. They'll dip it in honey and you'll see the father write on the lip of this baby Om, after daddy, mommy, aja, aji, nana, nani and others. Everybody's getting to bless the child. And they pay, in the prayer, they pay mok dikai. Mok meaning face, dikai to see the face. $5, whatever you want. Grandparents prepare the gifts. This is the baby. Remember, we're buying nothing before. That is our tradition. Now is the time to buy. Now is the time to come with the clothes and the jewel, the baby ring, whatever you want to give, and you're giving it in the puja. And you bless the child with it. It is there, we just bless the ring and the bearer, whatever you buy for them. Whether gold or silver, it makes no difference. It doesn't say what to buy. But when you buy the blessing, the clothes, etc. So now everything the child put on is blessed. The mother now is sitting one side, depending on her condition. She's not involved. She has done her work. When the baby is in the belly, as in Devaki case, as well as ours till today. 3 months we have sanskar, 6 months puja, 8 months Shashti puja is done. And the mother is the one who is doing, father is there, yes, but she is doing as well. But when she brings that child into the world, her work is done. Do you remember when the baby born in your home, you call upon it Babs, good time to see, the father wants to go, he's very excited. Let's say, yes, good time. So you go, and why is it important? When the father sees the eyes of the child, he gets his blessing. Boy or girl. He is now free. Let's say it's a boy. He is now free from offering all the tarpan. You know when Peter Pan coming up just now? Hey, your father passed away, boy, you have to offer. When you get your son, no longer have to do it. If you do it because of free will. But what the father has to do now, he has to teach the child what to do. So he accepts the role of teacher. The work for the father now begins. And it begins in this prayer called Jat Karam Sanskar. So he has to do all the puja, he has to do all the blessing. And what does the mother do? And I'm saying this just for the ladies, if you didn't know this. Your job is to sit down and collect gift. You see, when that day come and doing our first prayers, your mother now start there, the Aji, supposed to come and give you gold, and give you sari, and tell you thank you for all the back pain and all the vomiting and all the troubles you face. Look, today we getting blessing because of your sacrifice. The Aja. If the old people have old Taria, old Lota and whatsoever, that is a day they hand over those things. Not only gold and new stuff, but stuff that they treasure in the family, heirlooms, they pass it on that day. That day you become, truthfully, you become part of the family. If you won't respect it before, that prayer says they have to respect you that day, going forward, because of your sacrifice. So everybody goes by mommy and they're giving she stuff, thank you, love you, kiss up the baby, everything. And with this prayer now, the father is saying, I am doing this prayer, dear God. I am giving the name for my child, also what we call Nam Sanskar. And this is the important part in this prayer. Suppose the soul that is coming into the baby is coming from the Singh family. But we are Ramuta. The father says here, from today, you are, forget who you was before, you are with our family now. So that whenever we do Pitri, Yagna, Charity, Dhyan, whatever, you will always get and be part of that blessing. Let's hear what he says in this next sloka, everybody. जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम, काले स्नान ये आती शंकरा ये बस ये आत्म शुद्धयंती धैर्य ये सहे यज्ञनायन्या ये ध्यातम भोले बाबा तब जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम, कामो वृष ये व्रतयातम हरिहर यदु ये रूपयाति विचित्र ये नादेयातम काले यम निधये याति भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम। उमापति महादेव की जय। In this prayer, the bathing of the child is very important. In fact, you would bathe the baby in the beginning of the prayer, clean clothes is put on, the puja is done, and the last part of the prayer, you go and bathe the child again. But in it, you just take a little bit of gobar and say anything that comes, and the reason is anything that comes from the cow is a purifier. So if sometimes when the children are born, there might be, in their ear, in their nostril, inside the sinus, little remnants of the mummy. So this is to make sure the home, the child is purified. So a little bit, and they just beat them quickly, change clothes, come back to do final hawan. It is said that Nand did all of this. And Yashoda is looking on very carefully to see who's touching her baby. Don't touch my child too long. Don't kiss my child too much. I don't want my child to get sick. And it says here that different type of leaves, tender leaves, are used. Locally in Trinidad, because of my bad memory, I just have to write down these things. Just to remind everybody, Bringraj or Bangraj, Kumbulala, Gova, plum, lime bud, fever grass, shining bush, bamboo leaves, karaili leaves, jigger bush. Isn't that part of the tradition? These things are called deshchar, or depending on the country, because if we go in different parts of the world, they use different things, what is available to them. But those things that are listed there is what we use locally. We put it in a pot, we boil it, and then some is given to the mother to drink first for internal healing. Those things, remember in Hinduism, we believe a lot. We believe a lot in the herbal benefit of the leaves around us. There's a discourse in Devi Bhagavad where Durga Mata says, I will sit in the plants that surround you and I will heal your body. So for example, somebody says, Baba, why do we use doob grass in puja? Doob grass is equivalent to Andrews. So if a person has acid stomach, acid reflux, you're scrubbing your tongue and a little acid come up, Hindus chew doob grass and that acid stomach, ulcerated stomach goes. If you ever wonder why we just put the 5-leaf, the mango leaf like this in the kalsa, now you're learning in the world that if you boil that young bud on the end of the mango branch and you have diabetes, the tea alone heal. In our Ved, the Yajur Ved, one entire section is just use this leaf and you'll get that help. Use this leaf, you'll get that help. And it is because Devi Mata, Durga Mata says, I will stay in the plant and I will give you the help you need. So we worship with Shakti around us. So it says here, and it is what we also do for the blood pressure of the mother. Sometimes she has different problems. The leaves and the herbs that surround us, they were used to help heal the mother. And we do this till today. Different types of animals in their time, because they were cow herders, they were given in charity. Saffron powder and all these things were given. Everybody, when the prayer was being done, the peacock feather was prominent. Have you ever seen a picture of Christian and he has a peacock feather on his forehead? Yashoda Mata was no fool. But if somebody says to you, be honest with me here tonight, part of our satsang, one of the reasons why we're doing satsang is to learn. If somebody says, why is Lord Krishna wearing a peacock feather? Ma, see it in your head, see it, honest to God. Ma, we see the Christian picture on the wall later, ma. What you have a peacock feather in your head for? Why are you wearing a chicken feather? Like a child. Please remember what I'm telling you. In Valmiki Ramayana, excuse me, Ravan was not married yet. He was a young boy. And he wanted to show everybody that he's so valorous and strong and he could beat everybody, etc. So some devatas got together and they were doing a hound. Indra, Yamraj and others. And at the same time as they're doing prayers, they even test this come. Ravan reached and he said, I want to fight everybody here and surely I could win them. Who's going to fight me? But these fellas knew when you're doing prayers, you try your best to stay calm. You don't want to engage in argument and these type of things at that time. So Indra says, you see, you peacock who are around, when you're doing prayer, sometimes birds is be chirping, etc. The animals came because of the good things that were being done. Indra says, hold, stay one place, peacock, I'm going to hide inside of your body. And he jumped inside the body. Yamraj jumped inside the crow and others hid in different animals. Ravan reached up and he looking now, where everybody going? He said, all is coward. You don't want to fight me. Nobody didn't come out. So he gets fed up after a while, Bahrain by himself, he leaves. And Indra came out, Yamraj came out, everybody comes back. Yamraj says, because they're crow, because of the seva, the service you do for me here today, when people feed you food, the ancestors will get peace. Have you ever gone to a bandara and see they take out 5 share food? And one is for bird? This is remnant because of that. Because the real bird, to be honest, is the crow, like a scavenger. They eat the flesh of dead. And that is what we're supposed to be feeding when we say bird. Because, to be honest, bullfinch and those type of small birds wouldn't eat chana and aloo. But if you give those type of birds anything, they will eat anything. And it is done because at this moment, when Indra comes out of the peacock, he says, from today, let the eye, the black of the eye of Lord Vishnu sit on your feather. If you look at a young peacock feather, it doesn't have the black circle. But when it matures, it has a black dot in it. So what, because of that moment now, and the eye of Lord Vishnu is on the feather, have you ever seen people gyrate with a peacock feather? The eye of Lord Vishnu removes the bad eye that sometimes people have, sickness, trouble. So you go by a Baba and no surprise he's gyrating with a peacock feather. And that is why. Till today people decorate. Let's say I work in an office, I can't put a murti in the office because people might have a problem. But I'll decorate with peacock feathers to ward off or push away bad people or bad things, souls that are lost, etc. Yashoda Mata, from very young, puts a peacock feather on the head of this child as we are here tonight, because bad things was starting coming to her child. Sickness and trouble was coming. And she's putting it on his crown to push away bad things. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. So remember that. As the prayer was done, and it is now completed, all the different people come and everybody wants to touch the baby and smell right here, the front of the hair. They pay to see the face. Where do you pay for Moknikai? 2 places. You don't go and see the face of a baby without giving some form of gift. According to our tradition, it is a sin. And the second place, we ever went to a wedding, and let's say this is the boy's side, when they come back with the dollar hen and maybe they put the bowl on the table. Do you remember how she wears the veil or the Maori and everybody goes to give her a little dollar in the bowl and they see her face? That is Mokdi Kai. To see the face of the bride, you pay. Sit down, sit down. Everybody, after all that was done, Yashoda still wants to bathe Krishna one more time because everybody was kissing the child. And she is very possessive of her baby. She doesn't want anything to follow her, to come and harm this child when he's sleeping. So she goes and she has a bath, bathes her baby, and returns now to her chamber. Nand is making preparation to go to the city. He has to pay tax. It is tax season. And he has to go and pay who? That same Kans, the same individual. He has to go meet this person to pay his thing. Let's hear what happens in this slogan. Shiva Om, Shakti Om, Hari Om, Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah, Narayanaya Krishnaya Vasudeva is very wondering. He's wondering, his mind is far. I wonder what my baby is doing. I wonder what my child is doing. Is he safe? Is he happy? Dear Lord, if there was a way you could just let me know what is going on. That child only born recently, but I still don't know. I did not get to enjoy my child. What a bad person am I, that I cannot ever even know if he's happy, if he's sad, if he's in danger. I wouldn't know. I cannot even talk to Devaki about it. She's only crying. Dear Lord, please send me some sign. Natra priyatam vasam sudha chitra karmana ye nanda valna stodra yadhavye yadu yadena yadava Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Narad Muni says, when he least expected to get the answer to his prayer, he sees in the vista coming Nand with all the bison and all the bull carts filled with different ingredients for the king. Butter, gold, different things to pay his taxes to the sovereign of the area, Kans. Vasudeva and Nand had shared a long friendship, long before Krishna had come. So from the time he saw him, he recognized his friend. And he goes and he meets him secretly because he does not want cunts to know where Krishna is living. He pulls Nand into his home and he says, "Oh friend, may you please tell me, oh brother, how is our son growing? You are so lucky that in this age," because Nand was a little older, he says, "you have been blessed with Bhal from Rohini, and now you have a son from Yashoda. You are very lucky. Oh friend, tell me, how are they?" And Nand goes on to tell him about how they did the Jat Karam Sanskar, they did Chuda Karma Sanskar, Nam Sanskar, all the prayers, all the different rituals. He says, "Don't worry. The requisite prayers are being done. All is good. All is good." And what does Vasudeva tell him? He says, "I want you to be vigilant. Kans is sending all types of murderers to find that child." And after talking and normal pleasantries, they separate. But when Nand has finished paid his taxes and he's going home, all he's thinking about is what his friend had told him. Look out, trouble is coming. Murder, sickness, disease, I don't know what form they will come in, but they are coming for that child. Please be on your guard. Please be prepared for it. Witchcraft is coming. It so happened that Potna is coming now to Gokul as the father is away and is on his way home. Potna had been killing children, village after village. Parents were bawling. Nobody knew why, but children were dying. Newborn infant children were dying. But Potna is in the disguise of a very beautiful woman. She is dressed as if when she enters into Gokul, the villagers think this is Durga incarnate. She is looking so divine, so pleasant, so well dressed. She is looking so perfect in every way. This must be a Devi come down from Swargalok to meet with this baby, to meet with our leader and his newborn child. Because what is heard, Potna is asking, could you tell me where the newborn baby is? I heard that there is a child recently born in this district. Could you please take me to that home? And she's led with the children of the village to the home of Nanda and Yashoda. Let's hear what happens. As she enters into the home, Krishna recognizes this evil spirit. He recognizes that she's the killer of all the infants and he's ready for her. Let's join together in this slok, everybody. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu supposed to protect you the most is your mother. According to our text, she is the first security guard. Think about any lady here. And I'm asking you a question. And this is the power of our God. When you are before marriage, before you are married and you are in your father's home, you have your likes, you have your dislikes, you get up when you want. In daddy home, according to our text, the daughter is a princess. But then on the day of the wedding, the husband has to do something called Vijay Home or Vijaya Home. Because this boy with his selfish ways, oh God, because he wants to have wife, children, home, help, whatever, he's going to take this girl from her father's house and put it in his house. She has to change her name. She will go through all the pain of childbirth, all these different things. She has all the pain. But on the day of the wedding, when she's coming from this side to the side next to the Dulaha, the boy goes and he begs quick with a howl. If you ever pay attention, you'll see it. Dear God, forgive me for upsetting this girl's life. Every time she will cry, God forgive me. And that is what he doing that day. But when you know, let me say you get married, so you start to change. Your likes, your dislikes. Maybe in the first year, you still have your way and husband have his way. But slowly, you and that husband is going to understand each other very good. And the way he eating the food in terms of the pepper, one day you'll check yourself and you might find you eating just like them. I start to accept their ways as my ways. It have no other, it have no separation. Now I'm part of this family. The same deal. It is as if a retooling, a retraining has happened. And then go forward a little bit, the same person, many times, little girls, young ladies, now married ladies, I can't see myself loving anybody else. I only love my family. I don't love my husband so much. I don't love his family so much. I can't understand what it is to love somebody else. And then God, by the grace of his mercy, makes you a mother. And a different kind of love comes. A love that a man, a boy, will never understand. A bond that is make a lady, and this is written in our text and under the Shashti part, how that transformation, and this is my question, how that transformation is happening. For example, we're talking about the things the ladies do on the 6 and 12 days. I've been told, correct me if I'm wrong again, the mother, the first day the mother had to separate from the child. You know, the husband want to go and spend time with the wife, they want to go out a little bit, and she want to leave the child afraid. Go na girl, go. And they go Gulf City Mall, and milk starts to flow somewhere along the line without somebody, you know, being there. The mother milk running, and she says, hey, something wrong home. A child crying, call, make sure everything okay. Who does teach her that? This is my question. Who does give you the knowledge, or what we call mother's intuition? I go under so much of prayers. Hey, Olive, that child crying there. Maybe the child hungry. No, Baba. You see that cry mean the child want to sleep. You ever hear somebody say something like that? Who did teach you that? My mother is our grandmother now. And I will, hey, Ma, why that child bowling so far? No patience whatsoever, forgive me. And that lady now will say, hey, don't worry yourself, go for me. I'm a child. And we'll talk to that child and mama guide that child and give that child whatever it needs. Because, correct me if I'm wrong again, the mother does understand what the cry mean. Think about that. We just go to school to learn maths, English, how to power a bulb, how to fix a car. You go to school to learn that. Which school the mother went to understand? Where the child can say, Ma, look at ants biting me. Ma, my belly, I'm hungry. Ma, I want to have a shower. How the mother does understand that? In our text, it says there's a form of Durga Mata called Shashti. And Shashti gives this girl another transformation. When the baby is born, that these female intuition and motherly tendencies come. And from her body, just as she would accommodate the pregnancy as her body grows, just as the child is born now and different things happen to her, so that she knows how to sleep in the night, how to get up, how to do everything. What makes a mother a mother? In the last part, it says the mother is the vicious guard that protects that child until one day the child will protect him or herself. think about the child cannot being able to say, Ma, I want this or I have so and so problem. Who does know? According to the text, the mother does know. The mother will say, babe, you're going to touch fire. Don't go there. Because the child just don't know better. In this case, trouble has just entered into the home. Narad Muni says, Sukdev Goswami is saying in Narad, a snake, a serpent has entered into the home of Yashoda and Rohini. And even the mothers are so stupefied by the look of this lady, by the gaze of this lady, that even the guards that look after this child, they give up their position. They allow the serpent to come into the home. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Beautiful tilak on her forehead. She says, would you please allow me to feed your baby? I have come and I am in the way of being a mother myself, and my body is giving milk. Would you please allow me the opportunity to feed your children? Very strange request. Somebody asks you that, what would you do? But this person has a different plot. When comes in the previous chapter is very depressed and worried. One of the people that gave him the consolation that we will deal with your enemy is this girl called Potna. And he says, would you really be able to help me? How will you be able to help me? Nobody is going to allow you to attack a newborn child. She says, listen to me. The workings of evil people, of darkness, is so intricate, they will never see me coming. They will never know what hit them. I will take potent poison and put it on my bosom, and when the child, because it's just a child, goes for the milk, that child will not be able to distinguish between myself and the mother, and will drink the milk, and after suckling from my body with the poison on the nipple, the child will die. Do not worry, O king. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. So now she bought, her body is dressed for the poison. It's time. She thinks to herself, okay, I'm going to be able to destroy him. I'm going to take his life. Narad Muni says, Prabhu, Guruji, how could Lord Krishna get out of this situation? How, if death is imminent, if death is certain, there's no battle, there's no war, this is a newborn baby, how could he get out of this trouble? And the Guruji says, Narad Muni, you sound as if you're a person that does not have faith in your God, that things happen, moments will come to test each and every person. But if you do not have the strength and the faith, then you will fall. Even now, that Lord was waiting for Potna. Please listen, as what is going to happen next is going to happen to the surprise of Potna. Pahi, 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 Gajanana, Parvati Nanda, Gajanana.
Pahi, 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 Gajanana.
Bhagwan ki jai. Everybody is happy in that home to see this beautiful form come. Sometimes we judge people based on what we see. And in this example, you don't know the darkness that dwell within them. You know, let me use myself as an example. Let me show you how I just get catch. When I see the Baba coming with his kurta and his jap mala around his neck and he said, son, you give me a dakshina today. Say, yeah man, he looking like a good fella, you want a kurta and thing. Give him the dollar. And when you're coming out of high-low and the old cut up clothes and dirty clothes and whatever, the person said, brother, you give me the dollar today. You know, this Baba will say, may I have? He looked like he will go and buy cocaine and use drugs and they judge based on what you see. And we do that many ways and many times. And it's something that in chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells Arjun, you have to come out from that. If God lived inside everybody at a minimum, if God lived inside everybody, when you as a Hindu tell somebody, Sitaram, what you're saying is, as I'm maybe entering the mandap, I bow to the God in you. So then you have to be able to recognize God in all. And you just hear people talk about God realization. That big term simply means realize where God lives inside each person. But in the case of a friend here, Putna, she doesn't think there's anything divine about this child. And she's smiling happily to kill this child, to kill and cause damage to this child. Pahi Pahi means, dear God, save me now, I'm in imminent trouble. But Krishna doesn't cry. You know, sometimes, like this Baba's so lucky, every time I go to hold a baby, he'll cry. If my wife go to hold the child, the same child laugh and smile and love. For me, too ugly. Frightening child. But Krishna now does not cry, does not give trouble. He's happy. His hands, he wants to go by this demoness, by this trouble. And when she offers her body to the baby starts to drink. Thinking, now I will be successful. Now he's going to die. Now it is going to happen. He is drinking poison, after all. Sukadeva Goswami says, the safety of the children are left in the arms of the mother. The safest place for a child, especially a helpless child, a newborn child, is in the caring, loving arms of that protective mother. But now this mother is as if she's under the mystical powers of Putna. Because she knows how to do Vashikaran mantra and different type of prayers that still exist today. That people say and utter, so that when they speak, you are spellbound. I can't help, but I must listen. I must do what they say. And it is as if Putna is using this type of prayer to correct and control not only the child, but the mother as well. Krishna is smiling. Mahadev Baba knows what is about to happen, that the first soul that is about to be saved, Putna, it is about to happen. And while she is holding him, he starts to pull. And she starts to feel a little pinch, a little pain. So she stands up and she's walking out. And it is as if a different scent, something called a guru. Just as how when we have different prayers, we just use these different color sandalwood when I go to fix for prayers, the yellow, the white or the red one. There are different things we put in that chandan when we are doing different type of prayer. A guru is something like a powder in today's world. It's coming from a root that is used to ward off evil. So when they smell it, immediately Putna can't stay there with that smoke. She has to get up. She's uncomfortable. So she gets up and she goes outside now. She says, let me walk him. But she's feeling pain. She's trying to get him off of her body. And he is not letting go. He's latched on. Sukadeva Goswami says, Lord Vishnu had her in his grip. And he was not going to let go. It was time for her life to leave the body. Full of youth, full of power, full of plans for the future. It is time for Putna to die. Putna went there to kill that child, and Mukti came looking for her instead. Mukti means liberation, to find God. No matter what she did, he did not want to come off. And she's walking. And when he starts to pull so much, now the Jivatma is starting to move, as if Yamraj is pulling with his noose. She gives up that beautiful form, that mystical form that she had concocted because of her magic. Now the ugly person is visible. Now the horrific features, those things that live inside, are showing on the outside. She's walking and wailing, the hair is loose, and she's bawling now. Help! Save me! He's killing me! He's killing me! His body is becoming heavy, and as her life is leaving the body, as he's pulling not only the poison, he's pulling her Jivatma out of her bosom. As the body went weaker and weaker, she stopped running, she stopped walking, she dropped to her knees, and then she turned and fell to the side because of the weight of Krishna. She couldn't go anywhere. She couldn't go further. The mothers are still in some way on a spell. Did Durga Mata come and take the child and went for a walk? No danger, there's no trouble yet, because they are not expecting this to happen. Who is going to come to murder a newborn baby 2 days after he's born with poison in this way? Who's coming to kidnap a child? Who would do such a thing? And she looks so nice. Krishna, the person who gives final emancipation, according to Bhagavad, drank his heart's content of milk from her body. So much so, when he had finished and he wiped his lips, milk was all around him. But now there was no life in this body. He sat on top the form called Putna. And he starts to cry very loud, now that his work was done, so that his mother could come find him. The scent of their guru burning was now more and more. But when, same time, none comes, and he sees what is happening, how did this child reach with this ugly looking person, this horrific person? What is my child doing here? And he speaks to Yashoda. He wants to know, why did you allow the child to sit on a dead body? Yashoda says, I know he left with a beautiful woman. Lakshmi Mata had come to our home. And that is where she had him. I don't know who this is. I don't know what has happened here. Nand makes preparation for Putna, for her final rites. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. In Brahma Vaivat Purana, different text, that same Narad Muni asked this question. Who was Putna? And this is where our blessing is going to come tonight. Who was this dark person that had so much of ill resolution to attack an innocent child without any type of conscience, without any type of remorse, would go to kill a child like that? If we are talking just now, Baba, about the heart of a lady, the heart of a mother, and how she's supposed to be able to love her child and the neighbor child with the same love, how could this heart of this mother be filled with so much darkness? What is the backstory? How did she come to be? Let's hear what Lord Vishnu tells him in this sloka. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha. Come on everybody, let's sing together. We're going to close in a little bit.
Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. In this section, this is the Krishna Janam Khan of this text called Brahm Vaivat. And in this part, in this book, different details are revealed about the katha that you and I are commonly accustomed to around this time of the Janamashmi. So Narad Muni sat down with him, with Lord Vishnu, and he was asking, so why was this done? Who was Yashoda in her past life? Why did Devaki have to go through so much of hardships, etc.? And he was telling them about who they were in their past. And in this section, he says, as he's bringing in the discourse with Potna now, he says, could you tell me, oh Prabhu, I've heard how Potna was so blessed that she was the first one when Lord Vishnu came upon the earth and he takes the Krishna avatar, she was the first one he gave liberation to. Who was she? How it is that before anybody else, because when you're doing the Janamashmi discourse as well as puja, remember we don't use Krishna in the big form like this. There are different murtis of Lord Krishna, I'm sure we all know. When you don't see him with the basuri, that means he has left Vrindavan, he has given the basuri to Radha Devi and he says, I will never play it again, Devi. And he goes now to Mathura to fight Kans. He's going to become the king. He will one day build Dwaraka, get married, etc. But he's never seen with the basuri again. When he has the basuri, he's a teenager and he's living in the house of Nanda and Yashoda. He's still home with his mother and father. And when he's with one hand up like this, like a baby creeping, what we worship during the Janamashmi, Bal Gopal or Bal Mukunda, that baby form, he is the easiest one to please in that form. Think for yourself. If I wanted to get something from this fella, you think when he's 5 years old compared to 50 years old, which one would be the easier one to coax? Babe, look at chocolate. Look at sweetie, babe. Come now, you come by me, come. As I regular try, but always fail. But the 50-year-old one, they are rigid, hard to please, very difficult. But that child, that is why in today's world, when we do puja now, don't we give children little gift bags now? Because those little girls, those kanyas, those little boys will lift their hands very high and say, God bless you, thank you for all this, sweetie. My mother I go meet none, but thanks. Gratitude is also there in little children. But older people with abhiman, maybe when we get older, our heads get very high. I don't have to say thank you to little children. You know, if I'm 50 and the boy comes and he gives me something, he's 15, I don't have to tell he thanks. So what Potna does, Potna gets the opportunity to catch Krishna when he's a little boy, when he's very easy to please. Lord Vishnu, could you please tell me what gave her that opportunity? Who was she in her past? And Lord Vishnu says, you know when you're doing puja, Baba will tie the bali or the mauli, the string on your hand. Lord Vishnu had taken a form before Krishna, before Ram walked the earth. What is called Vaman or the dwarf. This is the guy who says, I'll take 3 steps of land for you to remember. Bali was the person doing the yagya. And before the yagna was finished, he says, please give me a guard, give me a protection. And they tied the string for the first time. It originated there. Lord Vishnu says, with my power, why we tie the red string? The red string is done, so it says, with the power of Vishnu, may you be guarded so long you're doing your worship, nothing will harm you. Not to be confused with what we call the Rakhi. The Rakhi, the other day when we had what you call it, Raksha Bandhan. Raksha Bandhan begins when Indrani, the wife, ties for Indra. He's going to war for 5 days. And she takes a red string and a yellow string and she plait it and she makes it look pretty. The red string is the power of Lord Vishnu. The yellow string represents the power of Brahma. Sit on him for 5 days and allow him to be protected. It transformed as time went by into a Brother's Day. But the truth is, Brother's Day is correlated to around Diwali time. And we have something called Bhai Dwaj. That is truthfully the Brother's Day, when Yamuna tied for Yamraj. But here now, the reason why do you see how pretty Rakhi and thing to come now? So dressed up. Because when Indrani was put in it, she used the different colors. The Rakhi for this purpose is allowed to be dressed. But when we are doing puja, the mantra says this red cord that is being tied on your hand is the power of Lord Vishnu to protect you whilst you are doing your prayers. When the prayers finish and before you break your fast, just as we know to take off the ring, Baba, I'm going to need something. Baba, I don't want to keep this on the hand, I'm going to break my fast. Likewise, this comes off as well. Just as what we see in wedding. And the mothers then would take off the kangan before any toasting or any type of husband and wife, honeymoon, etc. Out of respect for the devta, please come off and then life continues, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Vrindavan Bihari Lala ki jai. When the Vaman was tying the string on Bali, Bali has a daughter. Please listen to this. He has a daughter named Ratna Mala, who was watching what daddy is doing. And we were talking about that this morning. How children watch what parents are doing. Gita says what great people do, others will follow. They will emulate. So the daughter is looking on at the father as he's conducting this yajna and he's about to give dan and charity to all the sages. And he says to this little one, this short one, please, before I give you whatever you want, tie something on my hand. And in that moment, that girl who had done all the yajna, she says, oh, he's so nice. Listen to this. He is so nice. Wouldn't he make a beautiful baby? Wouldn't he make so nice a child that one day I wish I could hold a child so pretty like him to my bosom and feed him as a mother? I wish I could have a child that looks just like him to feed him from my chest. And Vaman turned to that Ratnamala and he smiled. Narad Muni, when people have thoughts in their mind, when you are a praying person, you have to be careful of what you ask for. You have to be careful of what you pronounce and say. Do you know when you are doing prayers and we are using black tail, brown tail, white tail, for example, when now Baba picks up for your prayers, and you know we're doing the Hawan, your house now, your pandit, just before we do the Purnahuti, the last offering, and we just do Gayatri 3 times. The reason for that 3 Gayatri, dear God, forgive me if my mouth said something that was inappropriate when I was preparing for puja today. If my hands did something, you know, I'm such a bad Baba. I know it have prayers today, I will wait for this morning to go and pick my leaves, obviously. But me, I go invite Terry and I go and pick all my leaves. But I'll never ask Terry, Terry, I have a little prayers boy, I can get some mango leaf. No, this one is like the thief it. And take away is not mine. Don't ask for it and then come and try have it on the baby as if it's mine. So the morning of my prayers, I could be committing sin and me realize, if you follow me. Dear God, this second Gayatri, forgive me, this hand so sinful. And the last one, if my mind, you know, the morning for your prayers, in the morning everybody going and test you. Tanti preparing, she hustling, she cooking, then time to bathe, change quick, and the husband still sit down watching the TV. Oh boy, he in a different world. She mightn't say anything, but in the mind, oh Lord, if I could crack you, I will. Your mind is all kind of thing. So before my prayers finish, dear God, all I say, that Gayatri is considered the most powerful mantra because every time I say it, the sin for 24 hours is burned away. That is why we do it. So whether you're doing Ganesh Puja, Durga Puja, Hanuman Puja, what Puja, you always chant the Gayatri. The other thing that we use in that prayer is just to remind you is the till. The sesame seed is always in the puja, but Baba, I don't know why we just use this thing. Check back in mind, when the Baba wash your hand and so on, and you put on the ring, the bali, the chandan, you go in and start the prayers, you giving your rice and black tail, brown tail if you have it, white tail if you have it in your hand. Do you know why you use that? Remember, eh? Remember. Where does till come from? Lord Vishnu, you know, they say you created the moon and the stars and so on. Lord Vishnu just created the sun. So like a big ball of fire going up into the middle of the universe. But from the ball of fire, imagine like how we picture this look, the human now, form, bodily features. He come in to bow by Lord Vishnu foot like this. And when he touched the foot, the charan of Lord Vishnu, the heat make Lord Vishnu sweat. From his face, his head comes white till. Each drop of sweat became the sesame seed. From his chest and thorax came brown till, and from his legs black till. And he says, wherever my sweat is, bad people, bad things, when I say bad things, lose soul, people who commit suicide, lost soul, people who get final rights, etc. They cannot come close. So think back now, you do it your barber and you sprinkling till and thing on the baby around the house, etc. to ward off that type of thing. And you went funeral already? On the box, where it is up? You ever see Tim? That is why. That is why sometimes when the funeral going on here and Pony Vishnu tell you, it has some people can't come into the prison. They have to stand up by the road and they dare not come forward. Pay attention in prayers, you go see. It have good and it have bad. Ratnamala stood there, and while the prayer was going on, she was such a goodly person that when in her mind she asked to be able to breastfeed this form, Lord Vishnu was listening unknown to her. And he blessed her with compassion that the day will come, one day you'll feed me. And when you feed me, you will come to me. For this reason, O Narad, that demoness, although she looked horrific in that form, was really a good soul that had gained great blessing. No matter what a person looks like or acts like, that God knows the gifts he has given to that person. And whenever God gives you something, you may not realize the blessing in the moment. It might be scary, it might be fearful, it might be troublesome. But good could come from it. In this example, nobody knew what was the outcome for Potna. But Potna was the first person to enter in this Leela of Krishna. The first person in that soul to enter into his body, never to return. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Everybody please put your hands together. I know time is going. I'm not going over 9 o'clock. I'm not. Right, we have 2 seconds. Please clasp your hands. Take my advice, and with your eyes closed and you concentrate your mind. Remember, we all have problems. A lot of people still hurt and confused with the election. We don't know what's coming. We don't know what type of bills, trouble, difficulties coming. Dear God, this COVID is going around. We don't know what is coming. Dear God, there are many people who are afraid to go and tell the doctor, look, I'm feeling sick, because the way they treat you in the hospital is not nice. Some people are hiding. So when we meet up like this, God, look, we want to come satsang, but we can't sit down next to each other. Dear God, I don't know what trouble, what demon could walk into my home. Prabhu, the election was when? Yesterday? Day before? And Ministry of Finance is already calling people about property tax. They want to come and look for you. They proclaim it, and people don't call in on the phone. Many people called Baba this morning and talked about it. Ishwar te kathinatam viprashi Krishna puna potna mokshadam padhi muktidhan Ishvara kata yenam yena iti tam yetam Shri Krishna janam muktidhan Khandiyena Shnanam Ekada Gokul Yetam Yena Yashoda Nandana Muktidana Grihana Parameshwara Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. For those people that have the blessing and the vardhan to listen to the liberation of Potna, for those people that would listen, this is Brahm Vaivat Puran describing the birth of Krishna, or in Bhagavad discourse, the person who listens to these tales of Krishna lifetimes of sin are burnt away. The difficulties, the pain, the person who has pain throughout their body, the person who has skin afflictions about their body, the person who has mental problems, if you're like me and you have bad memory, or more than that, those people are given health and help in this life, and they are given blessing in the afterlife. If there be a person that is going through distress with their children, if there is a parent that is crying because of the treatment they are rendered because of their children, let that home have peace. Let that home be free of the demons and demoness that exist in today's world. Let that home be freed from that heaviness, as we would say, that type of tamasic feeling, and let the person be, most important, happy. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Tonight it was my opportunity and my good luck to teach you about Potna and some of the history of what happened when Lord Krishna was born. Not many people remember the little things we do, like when we are throwing the flower. They don't understand what they're doing for the wedding, the funeral day, now when the child coming home, why we do it. And I wanted to just make mention of it so we could get accustomed hearing it. So when time to do it, it wouldn't be totally ludicrous to people. Further to that, after listening to the other side of the Potna story, I hope you remember that sometimes we mustn't be too quick to judge. We mustn't be too quick to cast aspersions on people. Sometimes we don't know the blessing of another individual. When you see somebody downtrodden, your job is to help. Don't be like this Baba. This Baba is a very bad guy. He only gives the pundit the donation. But the person who is hungry sometimes, the person who needs the doubles or the little soft drink or whatever it is, this pundit, oh my God, he only looking for kurta and sari. People that look like us, I hope you're following what I just said here. People that look like us, people who dress like us, then I could help you. Other people do that. There are some people that do it. Only if you are like me, then I will help you. We are better than that. We help everybody. Why? Because God lives inside everybody. Sitaram, everybody. Sitaram, everybody. Remember that. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. We will do one chant and then we'll do Arti. Or you want to do Arti now? You want to do Arti now? Do the chant. Everybody, I like to sing simple songs that everybody could sing along with me. Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Kaho. Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram. Everybody together, easy words. Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram. सीताराम मुझे प्रेम का अमृत पिला दो प्रभु. Let me with love drink the amrit. With love, dear God, I want to listen, I want to absorb more, I want to learn more. Tomorrow, people will practice something called smaranam. Smaranam is, you see the discussions we have. You know, last night I went satsang and I hear something. Child, you go on satsang last night, what the Baba say? And smaranam is where you start to remember. And maybe share, maybe text, maybe you talk to somebody. And you say, did you know, if you're doing Suraj Pran Puja on a Sunday morning, you put whole wheat flour in the Mahan book? I learned something. Do you know the fruit to offer Ganesh Baba, Ganesh Utsav coming? Is, the best fruit is? Kova. Remember that? According to Shiv Puran, when Lord Ganesh Baba, when his head is put on now, elephant head, Mother Parvati brought the best fruit for him, ripened guava. And for that reason, when you give guava, for people who have stomach problems, intestinal problems, and they offer Ganesh Baba that particular fruit, how you give in praise is so it is get. I just give sugar and sweet things so that God, karma, you're going to bless me with sweet and good times. So when you are putting the fruit, these particular items, you're putting it for a particular reason to get the help that we all need. Dear God, let me learn to absorb, to drink your discourse, the amrit, what will come from your prayers. Let me learn to appreciate it and take it in and let it remain with me. So that when I practice, imagine as a lady sometime, when you're cooking your zara roti or whatever in the kitchen, it doesn't mean you can't pray. Prayer is done wherever you are. So I'm cooking the zara roti and I'm listening to the Hanuman Chalisa on the radio in the morning. And in that moment, better than when we sitting by the bedi, you could close your eye for 2 seconds because you were thinking about it. And you could see Hanuman Baba flying. And in that 2 seconds, you do more prayers than we might do in our whole puja, to be honest. Because when you sit down by the bedi, depending on who you are, maybe I can't focus because my foot are in there. I'm not focusing on the prayers. Maybe when you're talking to your sister or whosoever on the phone in the course of the day. You know, last night I was watching TV and I saw a Baba talk about, and believe it or not, that is devotion too. When people talk about bhakti, when Sri Ram is sitting with Shabri Mata, that is what they talk about. He says, Mother, don't mind you're a lady, don't mind you are not a rich person, and you're not able to sit and do puja like that with flags and so on every day. There are 9 forms of bhakti. Tonight we mentioned 2. Listening and remember. That alone is praise. That alone will take you to God. Just as if we sat and we did prayers, or we did like this fella here and take out, look, oh my Lord, look at that bhajan book. You know all I'm saying? God bless you, boy. People like them have a gift to sing. So when they sing for God, yes, they are practicing devotion too. But imagine all I have to do is just listen. I have to do nothing else than just, you know what? Dear Durga Mata, dear Lord Krishna, you see this program going to start on the radio or going in a yagya. I'm going to give you 2 hours from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to listen and learn about you. And you are going to get the blessing. As if you sing that whole bhajan book, beat all the drum, do all the prayers, blow all the sang, learn all the mantra, the pandit learn. And believe it or not, Garbran Prit Manjali says, when a person like that, I hear it have Bhagavad in the village. Why the long time people, the older people, used to rush. I go in prayers, all fix all yourself here. I go in. I have to go to prayers that are young in the village. Why? Because they went to hear the prayers. And that's what we used to say. And believe it or not, that is what gives you the blessing. Like Potna. When she wasn't doing the yoga, she wasn't taking part in the yoga. She just went to see and to hear. And by doing it, look at the blessing she got. If you and I were so good enough to practice that type of devotion, with real devotion, one day maybe the God, maybe the Christian could take you and I, and we would be liberated. Vrindavan Bihar Lal Ki Jai. Let's all stand as we do. Final arati as time has run out. I'm really going very God help us. Please forgive me. short arti, everybody. Tonight I want to thank Babaji, Pandit Vishnu, Babs. I wish I could carry everybody out to breathe. It is very, very nice drum. God bless you. You did well with your PA system. Thank you for your support. Uncle, thank you. Stand up with your mother and you do a larity and you go to chill. Touch hand. You're doing arti for the Bhagavad, you get a blessing. Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Sansara Saram Bhujagendraharam Sada Vasantam Hridaya Vinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami. After your arti, if you have anybody want the arti with birthday boy, you know the purpose of his satsang, he celebrated his birthday. Yeah, God, thank you for that. God bless him. If anybody want to arti them, this is the time to do it, right? So the kids will get an arti on you. Jai Jai Bhagavat Bhagavan ki ye aarti Papiyo. Oh God, look how body Baba is. Imagine when I sing this arti for the God and I can't go on the mention. All you do like we come for you. Everybody. Om Namo Narayana. Everybody.
Hari Om Namo Narayana.
Om Namo Narayana.
Hari Om Namo Narayana.
Om Namo Narayana.
Hari Om Namo Narayana.
Oh God, tonight, thank you for the opportunity on this Rohini night, on this night, this nakshatra is there that is very auspicious. Thank you during this time, as we celebrate your birth, the Hare Krishna temple today, they celebrate Krishna Janam. People are still jumping because you came, God. Tonight we got to be together on this holy night to celebrate your discourse, to share your katha with friends and family. As we thank you for life, the father of this home, he celebrated his birthday. And we wanted to thank you in this special way. Dear Prabhu, we thank you that we could have invited all these near ones and loved ones, and we thank you that they came. We thank you for the weather. We thank you for all the permission and all the support so that we could have done what we did. May you please bless each and every person that will partake of prasad and bhojan and give them the darshan as if they had done prayer and satsang themselves. Dear God, may you help and protect each and every person here tonight and their respective homes. Together, everybody in one voice. Tvameva mata chapita tvameva tvameva bandhu chasaka tvameva tvameva dravidam tvameva sarvam tvameva sarvam. Together, everybody. Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om. Prem Salamapati Mahadeva ki jai. Pauna Putran ki jai. Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki jai. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Satya Sanatan Dharma ki jai. Sabko is Sitaram. Everybody is Sitaram. Jai Jai Sitaram. Please have your seats. Make yourself comfortable.
Like to say Sitaram, Thank you very much.